on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh please, I want to play some more tennis. Maybe next year. Hi, here we are then. Yes, we are back. And, it's a gloomy day today here in England. I hope where you are, things are lovely and bright. We are back together again. Hello. How lovely to see you. It is English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of English, which just happens to be... Oh my goodness, it's England. Oh. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope you are feeling happy. Yes, we are back together again. I don't know what's happening to my voice. My voice is a little bit croaky today. I don't know why. I was out and about yesterday walking around and it was a little bit chilly, and also on Friday something happened to me. Something that I knew was going to happen. Something I was not looking forward to happened to me on Friday. Another thing to mention. You will be pleased to hear that we have finally taken down the Christmas decorations. The Christmas tree was packed away last night. To be honest with you, we didn't want to take it down. We wanted to keep the Christmas tree up and the lights twinkling for the whole year. We actually thought about doing it, but then we realised that maybe it was a little bit weird if we did it. So we decided to pack it away last night reluctantly. We were feeling reluctant. I like that word. It's a great word. It has a lovely sound when you pronounce the T. Reluctant. Oh, yes. So if you are feeling reluctant, it means you don't want to do something. You are hesitating. You feel as if you don't want to do the actual thing. You are reluctant. You are shying away from doing it. You are feeling reluctant. So we were feeling reluctant last night. We didn't want to pack the Christmas tree away. We like our Christmas tree. We love it so much. But sadly, it had to go into the box for another few months. But don't worry, because you know how fast time flies. It won't be long before we're putting our Christmas decorations up again. My name is Mr. Duncan, by the way. You can see on the screen it says right under my face. I talk about the English language. I love English. You might even say that I am one of these, an English addict, which I am, and I have a feeling that you are as well. I talk about English. I love English, the language that started right here in England. This is the birthplace of English. It is. Last week, there were people on the internet fighting and arguing over one particular thing. And this is something that does happen from time to time, especially when we are talking about the English language. Some people say that British English is the best English, the best type of English, whilst other people say that American English is the best type of English. Some people say that they are traditional in their way of thinking, and so they believe that British English is the right way to speak English. Of course, if you watch my lessons and my live streams, if you watch them often, you will know that I believe, and I know for a fact, that there is only one English language with all of the roots and all of the Words, the base of the whole language. There is only one English language. However, there are some slight variations when we talk about the English language. We talk about the different spellings of words. There are some differences between British English and American English. Not many. But, as I just said, the core, the middle, the centre, the base of the English language is the same. There is only one English, and that is English. But I'm sure the argument will carry on forever and ever and ever. I am almost certain that it will. So here we are then. Yes, we have made it all the way to the end of another week and almost the end of another weekend, as we are now into the second half of January. Yes, it's Sunday. We are back together. I hope you've had a good week. I've had a busy week. Lots of things going on. I had a rather stressful time on Friday. I'm sure you don't want to hear about my problems and all of the pain that I had to go through on Friday. I'm sure you don't want to hear about it. However, I might still talk about it during today's live stream. We are on for 2 hours. How do I do it? A lot of people ask, Mr. Duncan, how are you able to come onto the internet every Sunday and do that for 2 hours without feeling tired? Because I'm standing up. I don't sit down in a chair. I always prefer to stand up when I'm presenting. So I stand here in front of the camera for 2 hours every Sunday. And yes, that is when you can catch me, right here on YouTube. English Addict Live, Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time, every Sunday. I did mention another person, not directly, but there is another person. Mr. Steve will be joining us in around about 15 minutes on the live chat. Lots of things to talk about today. How is Mr. Steve feeling during these first 2 weeks and a couple of days into 2022? How is your year going? I know it's only 16 days, but how is your year going? Is it a good year? Is it going okay so far? I would say that January, I don't know about you, but I always find January to be the worst month of the year. The worst. I don't know why. It always seems to go very slowly. A lot of people take a while to start getting back to normal with their routines. So I always think that January is a month that most people forget about quite quickly because they're still coming round from all of their festivities and their celebrations. Some people are still doing it. Can you believe it? There are people who are still celebrating the Christmas period and they are having their second New Year as well. Of course, we have the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year, coming in around about 3 weeks. Also, the Olympic Games are starting in China. Lots of things going on at the moment in China because they have discovered that, you know what I'm going to say. The thing that we're all talking about and that many people are, I would say, afraid of is now occurring once again in China. So they are getting rather worried because of the situation there as the Olympic Games loom in the distance. We have the live chat up and running. Oh, hello to the live chat. Nice to see you here today. Nice also to it's nice also to see that YouTube is promoting my live stream. They're not, by the way. They are not. Once again, hello to Euphonium. Oh, hello to you. Guess what? Euphonium. You are first on today's live chat. You know what we haven't had for a long time? Euphonium, congratulations. And I suppose that also deserves a fancy pants. That's it. That's all we're having. So congratulations, Euphonium. You are first on today's live chat. Oh, by the way, today we are talking about words and phrases connected to an action. Something you can do, something that might happen to you, or something that can be used as a phrasal verb. We are looking at the word throw today. Mr. Steve will also be with us, chatting about all sorts of things. Yes, we have taken the Christmas tree down. You'll be pleased to hear. Oh, also, Mr. Steve has discovered a new type of Jaffa cake. As you know, I am a big fan of sweet things, but I love Jaffa cakes. Little sponge biscuits with some orange jelly and some chocolate on the top. I absolutely love Jaffa cakes. Steve has found a new type of Jaffa cake. And guess what? He's bought some for me. I won't show them just yet, but I think today, because we have one left, we have one of the Jaffa cakes left, but they are a special kind of Jaffa cake. Very special, very unusual. So for those who don't like me eating food, because I do get a lot of complaints whenever I eat food on the live stream, people always write to me and say, Mr. Duncan, we thought it was disgusting. It was so disgusting when you decided to eat some food on the live chat. So today we will be eating some food live, but no ordinary food. It is a special Jaffa cake, a special type of Jaffa cake. So you know that I love sweet things, and I will be proving it later on. Hello to Sandra. Hello also to Palmyra. We have Beatrice. We also have hello, Marwa. Oh, or should I say, Marwa, Marwa, Marwa. Hello to you. Hello to you, Marwa. Also, we have Itzaya. Hello, Itzaya, who is watching in Madrid. Please give me a call if you are going to visit Madrid sometime. Thank you, Itzia. Well, who knows? Who knows what will happen in the future? Because if you were watching last week and the week before, you know that we were talking about doing something a little different, doing something special. Probably next year. We are thinking about doing some travelling, and maybe we will arrange a meetup for those who can do that. So we might actually have a meet-up, a get-together in a certain place. We will see what happens. Hello, Olga. Hello to you. Sandra Gonzalez is here today. Duong is also here. We have Vitas. Hello, Vitas. I'm so sorry that you weren't first on today's live chat, but maybe next week you will be first. Who knows? We will have to wait and see. We also have, oh, hello, Luis Mendez is here today. Oh, by the way, we are talking about something that is or was French. There is a big celebration taking place in France to celebrate the 400th anniversary of a very special person. You might even say that he was the French Shakespeare. All that coming up a little bit later on. So just in case you are watching in France, we will be talking about you a little bit later on. We also have Jut. Hello, Jut G, who says, come on, man. Come on. I don't know what that means. Can I just say, Jut, you seem a little bit impatient. Maybe you should calm down, take a chill pill and relax. I am here now. Alessandra says, sem privit. Hello to you. Privit, by the way, is hello in Russian. We also have Tomek. Hello, Tomek. Nice to see you here. It seems like a very long time since we were here together. Why? I don't know why, but this week has been a very long week. One of the reasons why last week, leading into this weekend, seemed long is because on Friday I went to the dentist. Oh dear. So it was my regular checkup. The lovely dental assistant or dental hygienist, her name is Lydia. I love that name. You don't meet many Lydias. Lydia. It's a great name, actually. So Lydia, my dental hygienist, was very impressed with my teeth. I have been taking very good care of my teeth. And she said, Duncan, you have been taking very good care of your teeth, except for the back. Now, if there are any dentists watching, and I know there are some, you will know that the back of your teeth, at the very back of your mouth, are very hard to keep clean. And it would appear that that is the only problem I'm having at the moment. So all of my lovely front teeth are lovely. She said, your teeth are lovely at the front. You have done such a good job of making them sparkle. But unfortunately, at the back of my mouth, she said, oh, Duncan, there are still some problems at the back of your mouth. You've got to brush a little bit more at the back. So on Friday, she had to put lots and lots of anaesthetic into my gums so she could clear all of the mess and the dirt and the rotten food out of the back of my gums. And she spent a long time doing it. So I don't know what was at the back. I think there must have been at least 2 or 3 meals tucked away in my gums at the back. But it was great, though, because I couldn't feel anything. So my gums were completely numb because of the anaesthetic. So she gave me this lovely anaesthetic, local anaesthetic. It made my gums numb, but it also had the strange side effect of making my face numb. So when I got back home, Steve said, what's happened to you? So one side of my face was all hanging down. because of the anaesthetic that the dentist had given to me. But I think it was a good idea because she did a lot of work at the back of my mouth. In fact, today I can still feel the pain. There is a strange ache at the back of my mouth where the dentist was gouging and scraping. So my front teeth are lovely. But she said, no, you need to take more care of your back teeth. I'm sure Claudia knows all about that. Claudia is our regular dentist. Palmyra says Lydia is not a common name for Britons. Yes, Lydia is a traditional, I suppose you would say it's an old-fashioned name. So there used to be lots of Lydias around. Many years ago, Lydia used to be a popular name, a woman's name, very popular. But you don't meet many Lydias anymore. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Can we all create a WhatsApp group so we can talk to each other and connect? Hello, Megar. Megar, that is a good idea. The only problem is sometimes when you have these new groups, they will happen for a short time, but then slowly they will fade away. So over the years, there have been many WhatsApp groups connected to my lessons, but quite often over time, people will go away, they will leave, they will forget to join, and then they slowly fade away, unfortunately. But it is a good idea. I'm not saying no. I do think it's a good idea. Apparently, Lydia is a common name in Argentina. Very interesting. Claudia. Hello, Claudia. Nice to see you here. Mr. Duncan, I am glad to know that you are taking care of your teeth. Well, yes, most of them. I would say that maybe 90% of my teeth are very healthy. But I think the problem is at the back. You see, I think most people have this difficulty with their back teeth. It's very hard to keep them clean because you can't get to the back of your mouth. It's very hard to get the toothbrush right at the back. So maybe that's the problem I'm having at the moment. Anyway, she's going to see me in 3 months' time, and I made a promise. I said, I promise that my teeth will have no problems. There will be nothing wrong with my teeth the next time I come to see you. So I'm going to take extra care with my back teeth to make sure that they don't go all smelly and stinky. I will try my best. Talking of smelly and stinky, Mr. Steve will be with us soon. Mr. Steve will be with us on a live chat. I wonder what Mr. Steve will be talking about today. I have no idea because I'm not psychic. Talking of which, do you have any predictions for 2022? This is something I wanted to talk about last week, actually. Is there anything that you predict might happen this year? And this always happens at the beginning of the year. A lot of people try to make predictions, maybe predictions about the economy, or maybe predictions about world events, politics. A very hot topic at the moment here in the UK. A lot of people are talking about politics in the UK for various reasons. So do you have any predictions for this year? Is there anything you think might happen this year? We will all take a look into our crystal balls later on. Right now, we have an excerpt from one of my full English lessons. And this is taken from Full English number 32. And then after this, he is here in the studio. He's waiting outside that door to come in here and entertain you. Yes, it's Mr. Steve. He's on his way. Hi everybody, and welcome to what can only be described as a video language lesson posted on the internet. Coming to you from the birthplace of the author A.A. Milne, who wrote the stories of Winnie the Pooh and his various animal friends, plus his human companion, Christopher Robin. Did you know that Christopher Robin was a real person? In fact, he was A.A. Milne's son. England is also the birthplace of the English language, which is why we are all here today. So without any more small talk or jibber-jabbering, let's get on with today's full English lesson, which will start right now. Your memory can play tricks on you. You might be at work doing something mundane when all of a sudden a memory pops into your head. It might be a random moment from your past. Something that has left an impression on you might simply pop up in your head. You might have a flashback. A moment in the present can send you back in time. A certain sound or smell from your childhood that occurs in the present can transport you back to your younger years. Sometimes the memories consist of unhappy events and moments we would rather forget. Looking back on your life experiences is normal. You reminisce, you reflect, you consider what occurred by remembering the events that went before. As we get older, our distant memories become more precious. Your memories make you the person you are. They are your individual experiences that are an irreplaceable part of you. Here are two words that look similar but have different meanings. The words are frill and thrill. Firstly, the word frill with an F means an attractive addition or decoration. You make something look more appealing by adding frills. You might see a frill on a woman's dress or skirt. You might add frills to a pair of curtains so as to make them stand out more. So something that makes an item seem more appealing is a frill. In business, you might see frills being added to a particular type of service. This hotel is worth staying at, just for the frills. The extravagant services added to something can be described as frills. Of course, the opposite can also be true. If a business wants to cut costs or make something more affordable, then they might take away the frills. A basic service without the unnecessary comforts or luxury can be described as no frills. The air ticket to France is very cheap, but it comes with no frills. You are getting the basic flight with nothing added as a bonus. A basic service is a no-frills service. Then there is the word thrill, which can be either a noun, adjective or verb. Something that makes you feel a sudden rush of excitement can be described as a thrill. It was a thrill to see BTS in concert last night. I was thrilled to be asked to speak at the seminar. The sudden rush of excitement is a thrill. You feel the thrill. Your breathing becomes deeper. Your heart might suddenly start racing. You are feeling the thrill. The thing that gives you the thrill is thrilling, such as a thrilling fairground ride.
a thrilling movie, or a thrilling expedition. The thrilling thing is the thrill. The thrill is what you get from the thing that is thrilling you. An excited-looking person can appear thrilled. The smile on his face told me that he was thrilled to be there. So as a noun, thrill names the feeling. As a verb, you can cause a person to feel thrilled. And as an adjective, a person can appear thrilled. So, there you have it. Frill and thrill. Two similar looking words with very different meanings. It's true that the English language can be quite confusing, especially when it comes to pronunciation. Good examples of this occurrence are the words lose and loose, chose and choose. Firstly, the word lose means to mislace something. It describes the sudden loss of an item or person. The spelling of lose often causes confusion for many when it comes to written English. The word chose is used in the past tense as something that has been chosen. You chose it. I chose this dress yesterday whilst out shopping. So despite the similar spelling, the word lose and chose are pronounced very differently. Then we have loose and choose. Firstly, the word loose means the state of slackness or free movement. I have a loose tooth. I should go to the dentist, I guess. Then there is choose, which describes the action of making a selection. You select something. You choose an item. I will choose my wedding dress tomorrow. It's worth remembering that while chose and choose are related, lose and loose are not, thus proving that the English language can sometimes be a very confusing thing indeed.
There it was, one of my many full English lessons that you can find on my YouTube channel. And if you want to find out more about them, just check my channel out. And hopefully you will find lots of useful English lessons right there. Here he is.
Hello, Mr. Duncan. Hello, lovely viewers across the world, our family of English learners.
Would you like some applause?
Okay.
Because I haven't given you applause for a long time. Here we go. A lot of people ask, what does Mr. Steve do?
Not a lot is the answer.
During all of the time when we're not together here on YouTube. Well,
Right.
Can I just say Steve is someone who never likes to stay still for very long.
Always active, Mr. Duncan.
I think you are a person who likes to be doing things.
Yes. I don't like to be sitting around with my thoughts creating stress in my mind.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've developed this wonderful technique so I can be actually doing tasks and torturing myself internally with thoughts at the same time.
Wow,
I've developed this skill.
It's like a gift.
Doesn't matter how complicated the task, I can still have this inner dialogue constantly torturing me.
Wow. That's a great. You will have to teach everyone how to become that.
That is correct, Mr. Duncan. Yes.
Tormented.
It's the opposite of meditation
Yes.
and mindfulness, the opposite of that. So if you are too calm and relaxed, I can teach you how to be the opposite.
Yeah. Well, you can actually divide stress whilst still carrying on with your life. So you can still have the torment of everyday life, whilst still carrying out all of the tasks. Yes.
You can. The secret is, though, I'm sort of joking.
Are you?
The secret is you've got to, for example, people say, go for a walk at lunchtime in your break
Yes.
because I'm sat in front of computers all the time.
Does it help?
Well, you see, the people say, don't they, go for a walk, go for some exercise. The trouble is, I find when you go for a walk, because it's such I love going out for a walk, but it's a mundane task. It doesn't require any effort on your behalf to do it, and therefore I find my mind actually can become more active when I'm walking, and can create more stress than if I was sitting doing my work, because suddenly the things that are worrying you, you're not doing work anymore, so that's not distracting you, and so something that's worrying you can actually become more intense. So I used to find swimming was very good.
Yes.
Because when you're swimming, you have to concentrate on not drowning.
That's true. I've noticed that.
It requires more effort mentally to swim than it does to walk. And it's the same. The other thing I've discovered. Oh no, I won't say that because that might give away something.
Yes, don't say anything else, Steve.
But you've got to have a task.
Okay, Steve,
that distracts you enough.
Okay.
Sport is.
You also need to learn when to stop talking about a certain subject, so we can move on. What I was going to say is I have some of my best ideas and some of my lovely moments of imagination whilst walking. I don't know why. If I'm walking, I often find that my mind becomes more free. And quite often I have little ideas, little things that I want to do on my live stream anyway.
You do. That is correct. Mr. Duncan suddenly has an idea. A light bulb above his head.
Yes.
And
or in my case, just a small candle.
He'll rush into his studio and write it down and say, I'm going to do that on Sunday.
Now, as you know, if you are a regular viewer, you will know that we love food very much. Mr. Steve has found something that he actually bought in the shops yesterday, and it's something that you found at Christmas time, but you decided not to buy for me. But yesterday we found it in our local shop. We have found...
He's so excited.
Can I just say, I am like a child when it comes to sweet food, especially when the food is Jaffa cakes. There is a new type of Jaffa cake, and they've called it the Jaffa Joe-Nut. Although I don't think that works. Okay, if anyone from... Is it McVitie's? If anyone from McVitie's is watching, I don't think Joe-Nuts really works.
Well,
Joe-Nuts.
We bought them.
We bought them anyway. But the thing is, I thought they were quite small, but they're not. They're huge. And in this large box, there are only 4 of them.
Individually wrapped.
So would you like to see it? It's huge. And not only that, I think we might eat a little bit of it.
They are delicious.
They are lovely. We're not advertising this. We're not getting paid.
No, we're not.
And if you do want to pay us, can you just send lots of these in a very large lorry? So a lorry load filled with these as payment, just in case anyone from McVitie's is watching.
Well, the thing is, somebody at work told me very excitedly before Christmas that these were the most amazing thing that he'd ever tasted. And I wanted to buy some for Mr. Duncan for Christmas. And I couldn't find them in the shops. So I went onto Amazon to order a pack for Mr. Duncan. But they were charging rip-off prices.
Yes.
They wanted to charge for one box of those. How much did we pay for them yesterday?
These were, I think they were £1.75.
£1.75. So maybe maybe one and a half euros.
Yes.
And on Amazon, they wanted to charge me £7
for 4
for one box like that.
So one box
say €6. I don't know.
Okay, Steve. One box has 4 of these, And Steve found them on Amazon for £6 or £7. Can you believe it? But in the shops, they are only £1.75. We got some yesterday, didn't we?
We did indeed.
Shall we eat a little bit of one now?
We can do.
I have a feeling that you want to see one of these for real. So we're going to open it now.
The thing is, they're an interesting construction. They would fall apart if it wasn't for the chocolate. It's quite interesting. Beatrice says they don't do them
Well,
where she is.
They are brand new.
But not even ordinary Jaffa cakes, I don't think.
Oh, I see.
All you've got to do is actually you could make an equivalent of Jaffa cake. Just make an orange flavoured sponge and coat it in dark chocolate, and you will have something very similar.
Yeah.
Just make a cake, an orange cake, and then put dark chocolate on top, and that's a Jaffa cake. Because it's just orange and dark chocolate.
Less talking, more munching. Look at this.
I thought we were going to wait for the end.
Look at that. That is like a work of art. I'm going to say each one of these special Jaffa cakes is like a work of art. It looks like a donut. So I think that's the reason why they've called them Jonuts, because they are jelly donuts. So inside you have sponge, you have some lovely orange jam, and on the outside or on the top there is some lovely thick dark chocolate. So these are very special and they are delicious. As you know, I do like Jaffa cakes. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's break this.
By the way, Tomek, I did see your comment.
Okay.
Before you retracted it.
Okay, there we go. Look at that. And if you look closely, you can see there is some orange jelly, some orange jam in the middle of the sponge.
I'm salivating, Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Steve's mouth is watering.
I'd prefer a faggot, though.
Okay, Steve. No, open wide. I'm going to feed it to you. Just the way you like it. Open wide. Open wide for the choo-choo. Choo-choo, choo-choo. Okay, it's going into the tunnel. It's going into the tunnel.
It's
all right. I'm just building up to it. Choo.
I hope you've washed your hands, Mr. Duncan.
My hands have been disinfected. I boiled my hands in hot water for 10 minutes. And now my piece.
We should have saved this until afterwards, and we could have had it with our cup of tea.
Well, there's still some left.
No, I'm not going to eat any more because the chocolate will make me cough.
Okay. Fascinating.
By the way, people are very impressed that you're looking after your teeth, which is interesting considering you've just had a high sugar snack.
Yes.
So Belarusia
I've got to eat.
is very pleased that you've been looking after your teeth.
Thank you, Claudia.
And Megan said that they look very beautiful. Mega, rather, sorry.
Yes.
Not from here, they don't. He's put some sort of white filter on his teeth.
I haven't.
No.
These teeth are literally, you could eat your dinner off these teeth. And quite often I do. Very nice. Really lovely.
Yeah, so if you've got those in your own country, I would suggest don't go and buy them if you are doing a post-New Year diet, because you could literally eat 4 of those straight off, all 4 in the packet. You keep advertising them, Mr. Duncan.
I'm not advertising them. It's just maybe some people want to see what they're called, so they can go out and buy them. And then maybe the manufacturer will find out that we're promoting them, and then they will send us a huge box, hopefully, full of those Jaffa cakes. That's all I want. That's all anyone wants, really, when you think about it. We had a lovely walk yesterday, didn't we?
Yes.
And we saw our little friend once again. And guess what? We made another video because we had a lovely response last week to our little friend. And yes, our little Robin joined us once again yesterday. So we're going to have a little look at what happened yesterday when we went for a walk. We were looking for our new friend, the little friendly Robin. And guess what? We found him. So this is our new friend, Mr. Robin.
Yes. Okay.
And as you can see, Mr. Robin is very friendly indeed. If you were watching last week, you will know that we were here with our little friend. Hello. There he is. That's Mr. Robin, our new friend. He's just had a little poop. And now he's gone back up the top. Hello. Hello. You know what? I think there must be something wrong with this particular robin because it tries to sing, but you can't actually hear it. You can't hear it singing. It's all muffled, but it is trying to sing. You are so lovely, aren't you? Yes, you are. Isn't that lovely? Oh, so that was yesterday after last week. So last week we went to feed the robin, and yesterday we did the same thing. So that's what we were up to, for those wondering. And I don't know why this robin seems to be waiting for us now every week.
We hadn't even prepared. Mr. Duncan said as we walked up, get the camera ready, and we just arrived and it fluttered down from the trees. Obviously, it must have been looking at its watch.
Yes.
Waiting for us to arrive because it was about the same time.
Well, you have a theory that maybe other people, as they go by, maybe they are also giving it some food, because it does seem to be prepared for someone walking by. So maybe it's something that happens quite often with other people. Maybe they often will give that particular robin some food.
We've been eating Jaffa cakes while that video was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And Tomek is so taken by these Jaffa cakes. Well, he's showing interest.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to... Apparently there is a new store for English expats in Rotterdam.
Oh, okay.
And he's going to swing by and and see if they're selling Jaffa cakes, which they may well. I would imagine that it's full of Jaffa cakes.
Yes.
If
course.
it's not, then of course with your fabulous English skills that you will have picked up by watching us for all these years, you can pretend that you're British and speak in a very posh voice and insist that they order some Jaffa cakes
Yeah,
for
so
you.
if they haven't got any Jaffa cakes, tell them to get some. By the way,
Tell them to get some.
When we say expat, we mean an expatriate. So a person who has left their own country to live somewhere else. So when we say expat, it means a former patriot of a certain country, an expat.
I would think that sounds horrible because it's suggesting that you have deserted your own country. Expat, I am no longer want anything to do with that country. But of course, it doesn't mean that. It just means that you could be working there for a period of time. It sounds like you were a patriot and now you're not. So I always think it's a very strange phrase to use. I wouldn't like to be described as an expat. Sounds like you're a traitor or something, I always think. But never mind. Oh, by the way, euphonium, treble 8, used to live in Holland and has now gone back to Russia. So, who knows? Tomic and euphonium, treble 8, could have interacted at some point.
Yes, who knows?
Over the years.
Apparently there have been big protests again in Amsterdam, and to the point where protesters are now giving out free tulips.
Really?
They
Tulips from Amsterdam?
Yes, they're giving out flowers to everyone in the street.
Oh, how lovely. I expect the tulips are coming into bloom, are they, at the moment? I don't know.
Everything is coming into bloom.
No, it's a bit early for tulips.
Okay.
Mind you, probably not in Amsterdam.
I wish you'd make your mind up.
Yes, a beautiful bird, and we will keep going there and feeding it until it either dies or emigrates.
Yes, maybe next week we can take it some Jaffa cake to eat, and then slowly the robin will get so fat it won't be able to fly. It will just have to sit on the ground all
And
the
its
time.
beak will start to rot
Yeah.
from all the sugar. I wonder if birds, if they eat sugar, whether they get beak rot.
Well, I don't.
Imagine they do.
You're not supposed to give them anything sweet anyway, because it is bad for them. So that answers your question.
We've got Rusian saying hi from Ukraine
Hello.
to us today.
Hello, Ukraine.
Hello very much. You're in the news a lot at the moment.
Yes. Not for good reasons.
No. Do you think Putin's going to invade you? Do you or not? Because over here, that's all they're talking about on the news here.
Can we just keep it light?
Well, I'm just saying, we want to know. We've got people living in the Ukraine watching us.
Do you have
and
any?
we're feeling a bit. Well, maybe you. I don't know. How do you feel about it? Well, you see, we only get one side of the news.
All right, Steve.
In the UK, Russia's bad.
What?
That's it. That's all we get in the UK, isn't it? Wherever country you live in, the media is always biased. I want to know
Steve,
what people are thinking.
Yes, but
is it true?
It's a very strange change of mood. From watching a little robin to what about Third World War?
Well, it was the red breast, you see. It sort of reminded me of sort of Russian soldiers.
Why?
I don't know, but it did. So I just wanted to ask, what is the perception, Rusian, in Ukraine about what Russia is up to? Because in the UK, the media are very strongly suggesting that there is going to be an invasion.
Okay.
And if so, how would you feel about it? We just want to know. Yeah, just opening up the discussion.
Yeah, it's great. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday afternoon.
I know these things are going on. People are watching us in countries where developments, big news things are developing.
Yes. Talking of news, we have a new contest today. A new contest.
Oh, yes.
And it's called Guess the News. Guess the News. I'm going to show you a selection of pictures, and you have to guess, not you. I'm talking to you, not you, okay? I've got to make this very clear. So it's not you. it's you. I'm going to show you a selection of pictures, and you have to guess what the news story is. So don't say anything, please.
Guess the news story.
So here it is.
Is it lots of tanks?
No, Steve. Can I just do it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Fine,
Steve.
go ahead.
The flow of this has once again been brought to a halt. So here it is, today's new feature on English Addict. You have to guess what the news story is.
Right.
And it's a big one.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to say what it is.
Well, no. Just don't say anything.
You know.
No sounds should leave you at the moment. So here it is. This is a well-known, topical news story at the moment. In fact, it's a hot one. I would say that this story is hot. Really, really hot.
There we go.
No, wait there, Steve.
Yes.
I'm still talking about it. just there's plenty of time. Don't worry. It's not a contest or a race. So there it is. Today's Guess the News story. As you can see, I haven't got a name for the feature yet. So, what's in the news? Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Or, what's new? Oh, I like that one as well. Let's use them all. So, there is a well-known news story, and all you have to tell me is what that is referring to.
Yeah, we've got lots of answers already. You're all wrong, I'm afraid. You're all wrong. It's a kangaroo has tested positive and has been deported.
That's it.
That's what it is.
Actually,
a tennis-playing kangaroo in Australia has been deported.
Actually, no, it isn't even that. Apparently, a kangaroo has retired from playing tennis.
Okay.
And they've now taken up a new occupation of being an air steward or an air stewardess on an airplane, which apparently is very hard to do when you're hopping up and down the aisle trying to carry people's trays and serve them drinks. Apparently it's not very good because the kangaroo keeps hopping around. So that's what that story actually is. So you can see that we have the tennis ball and the tennis racket. We have the kangaroo. We have the airplane. But what about the denied? Denied. When you deny something, what do you do?
If you deny something, you refuse to accept a certain, maybe a truth. If you're denied something, you are stopped from having something. Something is withheld from you.
Yes.
In some way. It isn't a competition, but Tomek was first.
Oh, okay. But it's
not.
It's
like the sentence game all over again.
Oh dear.
This is what it'll turn into, isn't it?
Okay. Well, that's it. It's over.
But lots of people got it right.
That was quick.
Lots of people got it right. Nitram got it right as well.
Yes, but this is a hot story because it's all happening right now, isn't it? Because old what's his name? Come on.
Djokovic.
Novak Djokovic. Novak. See that also. See, I think that name also sounds like a type of pandemic, the Novak virus. Novak Djokovic is on his way back. He's been kicked out of Australia. The Australians have said good day and goodbye.
Well, it has been a big story over here. We don't want to make any comment either way, although people are making, obviously, comment. Oh, by the way, we've got Wajda, sorry if I've pronounced your name correctly, saying, hi from Saudi Arabia. It's my first time right to you. I love you so much, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
That's
for that
great.
lovely comment.
I think that deserves a round of applause.
Yes.
So who is it again?
Wajda.
Wajda. Watching in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Watching in Saudi Arabia. Welcome.
We love it when people reveal themselves, that they've been watching us, and then they come on the live stream and tell us. And
Yes.
Mr. Duncan loves that.
Well, I know for a fact that there are lots of people who watch every week, but they never say anything. They never write anything on the live chat. And you know why? Because maybe they're a little shy. So if you've never written on the live chat ever before, do it now. Go on, just say, hello, Duncan, or hello, Steve, or hello, weirdos. Anything.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, people are putting up, of course, other topical news stories at the moment.
Yeah.
But there could be one that you're going to highlight next.
No,
maybe
there isn't.
Maybe closer to home.
Yes. Well, maybe there is. Maybe there is a story that is closer to home. But we might be talking about that later on, Steve.
Lewis, we might be talking about that later.
I tell you something that's happening at the moment. Talking of Luis Mendez watching in France. Big thing happening at the moment in France. Have you heard it?
What's happening in France? Go on. And
Yeah.
then,
What is happening in France at the moment?
let me guess. Is Lewis going to get the Legion of Honor award? Is that what's happening?
Not yet. Not yet.
He will do.
Of course, a big year for France as well, because they have their election taking place this year.
They do.
Old Macron may or may not be kicked out, so we will see what happens there. But yes, a special anniversary is being celebrated over the next 4 weeks in France. It is the birthday, or it was yesterday, the birthday of a man who is often referred to as the French Shakespeare. Did you know that, Steve?
I didn't.
Have you ever heard of this guy? We will have a look, shall we? Well, there he is. Jean-Baptiste Pourquelin, or Pourquin, otherwise known as Molière.
Ooh, right, okay.
Yes, a very famous playwright, also poet. He used to put on a lot of shows a long time ago. We are talking 400 years, although people don't exactly know when he was born. His birthday is not actually known, so all they have is his baptism day. So the 15th of January, 1622, Molière was born, and in France, he is a huge figure.
He's a very handsome man.
Yes,
I've got to say.
I like his moustache.
I'm not sure I like the moustache.
Oh, okay.
I like the little bow in the hair. That's very of its time, I would say.
Slightly Rubenesque.
Is that a painting? Do we know if that's a painting?
No, that's an MP3 JPEG. No, not really. No.
It's obviously not a photograph. It must be a painting.
It is a painting as he was born in 1622.
Very striking looks.
Quite
I've
a
got
few
to say.
years before photography became a thing.
No, I just wonder where that. I just wonder whether that was from a painting or whether that had been touched up in some way. Or
no, it's not. It's
very realistic. It looks like a photograph.
Yes, it's not a photograph.
I know it's not a photograph, Mr. Duncan.
It's a painting.
I know it isn't, but I would go to watch him definitely.
Yes, well, you'll have a job now. So in France, I'm trying to do a bit, by the way, Steve.
Okay.
In France at the moment, they are starting 4 weeks of celebrations, 400 years since this guy was actually born. Molière is his name. And if you are French, you will know all about this chap. So he is sort of seen as the French Shakespeare. So his extant works, that's a great word, by the way.
What does that mean, Mr. Duncan?
Existing. So something that exists, something that can be seen, something that is tangible and can be proven to exist. So his extant works include comedies, farces, tragicomedies, comedy ballets. Now that is something I've never heard of before. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to show my ignorance. And I've never heard of comedy ballets.
It's not the Nutcracker Suite then?
No, it definitely isn't.
That always sounds like a comedy to me.
So his plays have been translated into every major living language and are performed at the Comédie français more often than those of any other playwright today. So the Comédie Française is actually a very well-known place where all the biggest performances and the most well-known are performed. His influence is such that the French language, Steve, the French language is often referred to as the language of Molière. Isn't that incredible?
Well, when we meet up in France with all our lovely YouTube friends, then we can go and see a play. And I think I'll get a poster of that fellow and pin it up in my office.
I think Steve is hoping to actually meet him.
He's incredibly handsome.
So,
I do like the bow.
Yes, I don't know what he's got in his hand, though.
I wonder if it's a wig or it's his real hair.
I wonder what that long black thing is in his hand.
We're not going into that. By the way, talking about that was very interesting, Mr. Duncan. I expect...
Yeah, I've got more.
Okay, I thought we'd finished.
So, yes, some of his well-known plays, some of his well-known performances. Tartuffe, also the misanthrope or misanthrope. So a misanthrope, have you ever heard of that word?
Misanthropic. Go on then, Mr. Duncan, explain it.
Yes, a person who is grumpy and quite often doesn't like other people.
Well, that sounds like me.
Also the learned women. So when we say a person is learned, it means they are educated, highly educated in a certain field. The School for Wives is another one of his famous plays. And finally, L'Avare or L'Avare.
The School for Wives. That sounds like somewhere where husbands would send their potential wives so that they're good at being a wife.
Okay. It probably is.
Is it a comedy?
Well, don't forget,
it must be a comedy.
Yes, a lot of his plays are farces, as I said at the start.
That is funny, though.
Yes.
You can imagine that being played today and a lot of women complaining. But if it's a comedy, a farce, then that would be quite funny. And then maybe you could write one, a school for husbands.
Yeah.
That wives send their husbands to make them better husbands.
So I think this would be something like maybe Taming of the Shrew would be probably a close, something close and something connected in that sort of way if we were talking about something similar, in a similar vein. And as I said, L'Avare, which is the miser. I think that might be about you, Mr. Steve.
Sounds like Scrooge.
Yes.
Just shows you all these different characters, human behaviour throughout history has been noted and written about by famous playwrights.
Well, of course, Molière predates Dickens around the same time, of course, as Shakespeare. So you've got that similar connection, and I think
they knew each other. Maybe there was influence going on there.
Well, they used to
maybe one influenced the other.
They used to Zoom each other.
Probably.
On FaceTime.
Yes.
So that's what's happening in France at the moment. I wanted to mention that because I'm quite interested in it myself, to be honest. And it did prick my interest. It did. I thought, I'm going to mention that.
Can I mention the fact that a lot of people are coming out of the woodwork, Mr. Duncan?
Are they?
If you say someone's coming out of the woodwork, it means they were hidden and you couldn't see them.
Yes.
And then they reveal themselves.
Ooh.
Coming out of the woodwork. We've already mentioned somebody that said that they were watching us for a long time and now they're back.
Yes.
But we have Pedro watching as well.
Oh, I suppose I should
revealed himself.
I should say Pedro Belmont is here today. Thank you, Pedro, for joining us.
Who's more handsome, Pedro or Molière?
I think Molière might be more handsome, but Pedro Belmont...
he did have his long hair.
Pedro Belmont is more alive.
I think he's got the hair.
If you are going to date someone, make sure it's someone who is alive. So
Tomek will be getting very, very jealous now.
This is the problem, you see. If you date someone who's been dead for nearly 400 years, it's not so much fun. So I always suggest if you're going to date someone, if you're going to go on a date, go with a living person. Do you know who didn't like Molière?
Oh, Let me think.
just-
Was it... Who was around at that time? My history's not very good.
No, not that time. It doesn't have to be that time.
Well, you bet the short... Well, so this person wasn't alive at the same time?
No.
Okay. Shirley Bassey?
Laurence Olivier, apparently, was not a fan of Molière. He said watching him or one of his plays is like staring at a baby's open grave. He actually said that.
Maybe that he went to see the wrong... Maybe it was a very bad production. It was a bad production. But anyway... you said all that and now you've... Anyway, right.
No, I'm just going to say something else now. Did you know that back then, at the time of Molière, actors could not be buried in consecrated ground?
You've done a lot of reading around this, haven't you, Mr. Duncan?
No.
Why is that then?
I don't know why, but it was a very strange thing. So actors at that time could not be buried on consecrated land. They had to be disposed of somewhere else. Maybe they were recycled and turned into, I don't know.
And Nisar
Chips.
has also revealed himself as watching in India, and it's lovely to see. So hello, Pedro. Hello, Nisar. It's nice to see people. Well, just because you're watching Mr. Duncan doesn't mean that you have to always be writing things in the chat.
No.
You can be watching in the background.
Yes. Well, a lot of people do. They just listen to us. So they're doing something else. Maybe they're making a cup of tea or making something to eat, and they just have us on in the background like the radio.
Gula 10 also in India as well. So we've got lots of people watching us from all over, and it's nice to see when people come back that we haven't seen for a long time.
In the early days of Molière, by the way, in his early days...
God, is this all we're going to talk about today, Mr. Duncan?
Well, it's a big thing. It's his 400th birthday yesterday. That's a lot of candles.
That's what Lewis has said 400 years ago.
Yes. Anyway, did you know also, in his early days, he actually created a small troupe of actors, and they would put on plays. But unfortunately, they ran out of money, and things were so bad that he ended up owing lots of money, and he actually went to prison because he owed money. So just by owing money, you could be thrown into prison. That's incredible.
Died on the stage, says Lewis.
He did, and his prison sentence killed him in the end because he developed terrible lung diseases, I think pneumonia and all sorts of things later in life. And that was caused by his imprisonment. I have a feeling that French prisons back then were not very nice places to be.
I don't think prisons anywhere were very nice though.
No.
Yes, Pedro's mentioned that French is referred as the language of Molière. His plays remind me of Shakespeare, even if he isn't as famous. Well, that's it, yes. Yeah, exactly. Tom X retracted a message before I've had a chance to read it. I expect it was something to do with, this love rivalry between, this love triangle. And he's probably, a bit upset that Pedro's come back now to, obviously have his influence over me. But anyway, never mind.
I have no idea.
I'm only joking. There used to be this running joke, didn't there? Between, there was. Yes, there was.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say so. So we are looking at words and phrases connected to the word throw a little bit later, by the way, Steve.
Throw, yes, throw.
Yes, I knew you'd be fascinated by that.
I was reading the live chat, and I can't do two things at once.
No, you can't do one thing at once.
I thought Tomek would be jealous. He says he's not.
Okay,
well.
That's good.
I'm trying to get jealous. I like people to be jealous of me.
I'm enjoying this in-joke that no one else actually understands or cares about. So thank you very much for watching us today, by the way. It's really nice to have your company here on Sunday. And we are now going to look at some words and phrases connected to throw. So we often think of throw as an action, a direct action. But actually, there are other ways of using the word throw. There are verbs, there are some nouns, there are also some phrases, and there are phrasal verbs as well connected to that. So we're going to look through these very quickly. So don't worry, Steve.
Oh no, we've got 40 minutes left.
Number 1, as a verb, throw means to propel an object with force through the air, quite often using your hand and your arm. So you might throw a ball as an action, throw a stone, throw an apple. I don't know why you would throw an apple. I don't know why you would do that.
Throw a rotten tomato at
Molière.
Yes, at a badly performed Molière play.
Yes. Laurence Olivier was at the front with a big pile of rotten tomatoes. I think so. He didn't like Molière, not one bit. So to throw means to propel an object with force through the air. You are throwing something. To throw also can mean to push or force something violently. So you might be thrown across the room because of an explosion. Maybe you are thrown away because of the force of something, the force of the explosion. It will throw you away or throw you across the room. So once again, we are using it as a verb. Our third definition, throw, means to project light or sound in a certain direction. So you can project sound, you can project light. So both of those things are using the air to travel through.
Throw some light on something.
Yes.
Let's throw some light on that corner of the room.
That's it. Or you can throw your voice, like those people who can use their little ventriloquist dummy. I have one here. Here we go. I'm going to show you my ventriloquism. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Hong Kong. How are you today? I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Maybe we should stop that because we didn't practice it. It probably doesn't look very good.
That's good. No, I think that will win an award of some
Welcome,
sort.
Rakesh. He wants to be recognised, or they want to be recognised.
Rakesh.
We can't. The trouble is, we can't read all the live chats, so sometimes we miss. I think it was because I was recognising people that from different countries, and I missed out Rakesh. So I do apologise.
Hello, Rakesh, watching in India. Hello to you.
Yes.
So to project light or throw sound, to project something in a certain direction. Number 4, throw means to...
Tomek says if we keep talking about Moulier, he's going to throw up.
Okay.
Which is a good use of the word. Thank you very much for that.
Yes.
We like sort of funny suggestions for the words.
That's good.
Yes, because if you throw up,
yes,
it means you're being sick. Vomiting.
Yes. Have you actually thought maybe that's in my list?
Well, it's too late because
Number 4. Well, you didn't have to read it out. Number 4. Throw means to distract or disturb a person's concentration. Things will often throw Mr. Steve when he's trying to do something. Something will distract him because he has the attention span of a goldfish.
No, it's not that. You can be thrown off course. It's just like you were on a course and you're now on a different... It's something distracts you, something interrupts your concentration. So you might have been, for example, you could be doing a speech, couldn't you? You could be doing a talk at work and then somebody starts laughing or somebody heckles you or makes a joke or there's a loud noise and it distracts you and you're thrown off what you were going to talk about.
Yes.
And then you have to suddenly, because your concentration has been broken. So yes, distract somebody's concentration.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, comedians, stand-up comedians, have to become very good at overcoming this because the audience always try to distract them and throw them off their what they're trying to say, the jokes.
That's why I like doing this, because the audience, that's you by the way, cannot heckle us. They can't criticise us, only on the live chat. But we can just ignore that, you see. We don't have to even acknowledge that.
Sometimes I get thrown off course by the live chat,
Always.
particularly certain individuals.
Number 5, throw means to make a facial expression towards someone.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
you might throw a smile to someone. You throw a glance.
Oh, right.
So to throw, you can project an emotion using your face. So throw means to make a facial expression towards someone. He threw me a smile. He threw me a wink.
You've heard it here.
I like to wink. A lot of people call me a big winker. Here's another one. Number 6, to push or operate a switch or lever, depending on how you want to pronounce it, by hand. So to operate or is to throw. You throw a switch. You throw a switch. You are operating that switch. You are making something become active by throwing the switch. When they used to electrocute people as a punishment, well, not really a punishment. I always wonder why they say punishment when they're killing someone. Because punishment is always something that you learn from. But if they're electrocuting you to the point where you're dead, you're not really learning anything from it, are you? Because you're dead. There you go. To push or operate a switch or lever by hand is throw. So they would often throw the switch to electrocute the prisoner.
When you use that phrase to turn something on with a switch, it gives the impression that it's a big switch, something important is about to happen. You wouldn't say, if there's a party and you turn the lights off and then you want to make a surprise by turning them on, you would say throw the switch, but you wouldn't say, because you're making a dramatic statement.
That's it. Maybe turning on the Christmas lights.
Yes.
You throw the switch.
Yes, a celebrity. That's a good example, Mr. Duncan. A celebrity is there to turn on the Christmas lights, and someone will say, throw the switch. And it's usually said to indicate something dramatic happening with lights coming on or something like that.
Maybe the music will
You
start.
wouldn't say... I wouldn't say to you, Mr. Duncan.
Maybe 50,000 volts will go through Mr. Steve.
I wouldn't say to you, it's getting dark in the room, will you throw the switch?
Okay.
You wouldn't say that.
No.
You'd just say turn the lights on. So throw the switch indicates something dramatic's going to happen.
That's it.
In an electrical capacity
And
with lights, or as you say, electrocuting somebody.
yes. Please don't try that at home. Here's another one. To deliver a punch. Boom. To deliver a punch. Boom, 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 boom. To deliver a punch using a fist is throw. You throw.
Throw a punch.
Throw a punch.
You've done that many times to me, Mr. Duncan,
Yes.
particularly after the live streams when
Yeah.
I've distracted or upset you in some
I
way.
often give Mr. Steve a good beating. What? Number 8. To put on or arrange an event. Here we go, Steve. This is a news item. To put on or arrange an event or party
Yes.
attended by many people is throw. You throw a party. You arrange and you put on a party. For example, maybe you are the Prime Minister of the UK.
Yes.
And you and some of your friends decide to have a little party at number 10 Downing Street, whilst everyone else is having to stay at home on their own and social distance. But the Prime Minister says, no, I'm going to break all the rules because I am the Prime Minister and I can do whatever I want.
Who was that?
I don't know. I think it was Winston Churchill.
Yes, it's my birthday next month. Let's throw a party. Which, of course, is something that is a phrase that people won't have been using very much over the last 2 years with all the lockdowns. So that is now a phrase, hopefully, we can use more often in the future. There'll be parties every day.
I just wonder now if Boris Johnson will be thrown out
Yes.
of government.
Yes.
You see?
That's a good yes.
So because he threw a party, Boris Johnson might be thrown out of, well, his job, first of all, as Prime Minister, and maybe he will be sent to a small desert island somewhere in the middle of the ocean, where he will have to spend the rest of his life. We can only wish for that, really, when you think about it.
Have you talked about throwing things away?
Not yet.
We're coming on to that. But thank you, Palmyra.
We have lots more, actually.
Thank you, Palmyra.
So, yes, to arrange or throw an event or party, you are arranging it, you are putting that particular thing on.
It suggests a kind of laid-back, sort of informal event, doesn't it?
Not
Throw
necessarily.
a party.
Not necessarily.
It doesn't.
The
not
party-
necessarily, but it sort of
Yes.
hints at that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say, let's throw a wedding.
Well,
Would
no,
you?
you don't throw a wedding.
Organise a wedding.
You would throw a wedding party
Yes, exactly.
because a wedding isn't a party.
I know, but I wasn't on about the party bit.
No.
I was just on about the wedding bit.
That's it.
Stay calm, stay calm.
Who, me or you? I'm fine. I am calm. Number 9. And now we have some nouns.
Right.
Throw means an item used for covering something. So you might decide to cover maybe your bed or maybe a piece of furniture with a piece of cloth.
A throw.
So you throw something over the furniture, and that thing is called a throw.
Yeah.
As a noun. Another one. I keep losing my place. Number 10, also a noun. To the act or an act of throwing something. So throw. A good throw. That was a good throw. Maybe if you are throwing a ball and you do it very well and the ball goes very far, they might say, "Oh, Mr. Duncan, good throw. Good throw."
They wouldn't say that to you, though.
They
You
wouldn't.
throw like a girl.
This is how I throw things.
Yes. So if a man, it's disparaging to women, really. But if a man cannot throw, say, a cricket ball or a football or something very well, then his friends will say, "Oh, you throw like a girl." That's a common phrase in the UK. I had it said to me a lot when I was at school.
Yes, although you do everything like a girl.
Scars run deep.
Steve does everything like a girl.
I don't. I'm not very good at throwing, though. I never have. I couldn't, spears, balls, anything. I couldn't. I wasn't. I can never throw very far.
No.
I don't know. I think you need strong shoulder muscles for
That's
that. So they were right.
Yeah, they
What
were.
they said, they were right, but
Oh.
it was upsetting at the time.
They were right. They definitely were right. So the act of throwing something is also throw.
Yes, Nitram, sorry, has made a good point here. But yes, no, that's an interesting point, Nitram.
Mm-hmm.
So when they say they throw a party, it doesn't mean that they're not going to have one. It means you're going to actually have a party.
Yes, you're arranging it. So
But-
you're making it happen.
But I know what Nitram means because you can the word you can say throw the match, can't you? You can throw a match.
Yes, but that means to pretend to lose.
Well, you do actually lose. You deliberately lose the match.
Yeah, that's it.
You talk to your colleagues and say,
So how do
so
you
you deliberately don't play well.
How does that relate to a party then?
Well, no, I meant the use of the word throw.
Oh, I see.
So that Nitram is making a very subtle point here.
Yes. To
So-
throw something away, though, can also be used in more than one way. So to throw an object, you throw it away because you are throwing it away from you. naming the direction. But also throw away, can also mean to discard something.
Yes,
And
that's right.
That's it.
But
Anyway,
if you had a party and you were going to cancel it, you wouldn't say, I've thrown the party.
No.
You would say, I've cancelled the party.
that's it.
But you could throw a match deliberately. For example, if it was a cricket match, you could deliberately, or a tennis match, you could deliberately not hit the ball back properly and deliberately lose. Some
Yeah.
people do that for whatever reason. So you can use it in a positive and a negative way, can't you?
Yes, that's it.
But you've got to know when you can use that phrase in a
Yeah.
positive or negative
That's
way.
it. They're
Thank
also-
you, Nitram, for
Okay,
that.
there are also very big different meanings as well.
Yes, it doesn't mean you throw the party away. It doesn't mean the
No.
party wasn't going to
I
happen.
think we've established that.
I know, but it was a very good point because
Yes.
the word throw can be used to mean to cancel something
Yes.
or deliberately,
Again,
but
it's
not
okay.
in the case of the party.
It's okay. This isn't the repeat you're watching. Here we go. So we have throw phrases, Steve. Throw phrases.
People are commenting on your. I see. I can't see. Every time I say something, apparently your face is looking very.
What?
Well, let's just say it's looking a certain way.
I don't know. I'm just fascinated and interested completely in what you're saying.
Obviously, yes. Obviously, Mr. Duncan doesn't want me to speak.
No, it isn't that. I don't mind you speaking as long as something comes out. We have some phrases, Steve.
Throw phrases.
So we have some phrases now.
Throw caution to the wind.
If you throw caution to the wind, it means that you are throwing away all of your worries.
Inhibitions.
Yes, you are just doing something and you don't care what happens. You are just going to do it. You're not going to worry or think about it. All of the worries and the concerns and the anxiety and the fear, you just throw it all away. You throw caution to the wind. It means you do it. Despite what might happen, what the consequences might be, you just go ahead and do it. You throw caution to the wind.
Let's think of a good example where you would throw caution to the wind. Maybe you decide that, yes, it's something that you might be frightened of doing, but then you decide to do it anyway. So let's, for example, say that you wanted to go up in a hot air balloon.
Okay. I know where this is going.
Or maybe do a bungee jump.
Yes.
Or maybe hire, go on a go-kart.
What?
Get a go-kart and go on a go-karting track.
What about ride a sheep across a field?
Yes, something that would be, but like a bungee jump, or maybe something like that. So that was something I would never do,
Okay.
obviously. But I might say, can I finish the sentence? I might say, come on, let's throw caution to the wind. Let's just go on a bungee jump.
That's yes. It's not really a thing.
Well, you think of another example then,
Yes.
Mr. Duncan.
Travelling alone.
Well, travelling alone.
So you might
yes.
go abroad. You might go abroad on your own, and you decide to travel a certain country, bungee jumping.
Yeah, but that is a something that is safe, but in your mind you would perceive that as dangerous. I'm going to throw caution to the wind. I'm going to go rock climbing.
Yes. Do people still bungee jump?
Yes,
I
of course
know-
they do.
I wasn't asking you. It's a rhetorical question.
Well, the other thing you might do is decide to move house and get a bigger mortgage.
See, that's a good one.
Yeah, and
That's a good one. That's better than your bungee jump.
It's not. That is. He's awful. I've got lots of supporters out there, on my side, and your facial expressions today are sort of, putting me down, Mr. Duncan. I feel hurt. So yes, let's throw caution to the wind and move house, and I don't care. I'm just going to double the mortgage and not worry about it. Throw caution to the wind.
Yes.
Is not a phrase that I very often say.
No. Steve is someone who never throws caution to
I'm
the
a
wind.
cautious person,
It takes him a very long time to make the simplest decision.
always looking at all the risks
Yeah.
and weighing them all up and then deciding that it's too dangerous and too risky to do. And actually, I do want to go back to, see, when I was younger, this is what I was thinking of the other day, Mr. Duncan. You see, I talk endlessly about wanting to buy a Ford Mustang.
You
don't
talk
I?
endlessly.
And yet, when I was in my 20s, if I wanted to buy myself a sports car, I just borrowed the money and went out and did it. I didn't think twice about it.
But surely
I threw caution to the wind.
You can borrow money when you're young.
Yeah, I can borrow it now.
Yes. Oh. But you're more likely to do it when you're young because you've got your whole life ahead of you.
But I'm just saying that, though. I don't want to analyse the reason.
No. Oh, no, I'm
just saying that,
yes,
when you're younger...
I think that's quite interesting.
When you're younger, it's easier to throw caution to the wind because if you make mistakes, you've got time to make up for those mistakes, particularly financial ones. Relationships, things like that,
Maybe not relationships. Never ever throw caution to the wind when you are dealing with other human beings because it will always end badly. Trust me.
Yes, lots of people retracting messages before I've had time.
That's good.
Wajda says that this phrase is so me. Do you mean that you do throw caution to the wind? Is that what you mean? That you are a person that doesn't worry about the consequences? If you want to do it, you just do it. I want to return more to that way of thinking.
Yeah.
I do, because you can become so sort of worried about things all the time. And of course, COVID and all this has made us more fearful of doing things. Because we've been made to feel fear, governments have made us fearful of things.
Have they?
And that we are less, I think, we need to get back to how we used to be, sort of taking more risks and doing things that we enjoy doing.
You're not Novak Djokovic's coach, are you?
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. No one.
Who you talking to?
Vitas says, yes, no one wants to give you money anymore in loans. That is true.
No.
Maybe I do a crowdfunding thing,
What? For what?
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
I'm getting
Greetings from Belarus, says, I'm not going to pronounce that the way it looks. Hate machine. Oh, no, it is. It's hate machine. Sorry. I thought that was... I didn't read the whole thing.
Steve sometimes reads things like a 5-year-old.
Well, I thought, no, that can't be how you pronounce the word. Hate machine. Well, thank you, yes.
Hello, Hate Machine. Hate Machine has actually been on before.
Well, welcome. All these people that we haven't seen for a long time are revealing themselves, coming out of the woodwork,
Or as
as we say.
Mr. Steve would say, Hate Makina. Throw caution to the wind. Here's another one, Steve. Here's a good one. This is something Steve does quite often.
What's that? Throw a spanner in the works.
Throw a spanner in the works. So this is another great phrase using throw. If you throw a spanner in the works, it means you disrupt something or you stop something from happening because you have interfered with that thing. You have done something or said something to stop it from happening. So you throw a spanner in the works.
Yes.
Imagine a machine working.
With lots of cogs. Like maybe a big clock with lots of cogs going round. And you throw a spanner in and all the cogs get all stuck and grindy. And the whole thing comes to a halt.
Grindy.
So yes,
is that a website? Isn't that a website for meeting like-minded men? Grindy.
So yes, throw a spanner in the works. Imagine throwing a spanner into some mechanical machinery.
Yes.
And it stops and breaks.
And it breaks.
But of course, you can do this. Doesn't have to. Obviously, we're talking about it in other processes.
It's metaphorically.
That's right. So let's think of an example that would make that work. So maybe it's something at work, and somebody has a project.
Is it Bill?
It's Bill.
Is it Bill with his project?
With a project, that's right.
I've missed Bill. I haven't seen Bill and his project for ages.
That's it. So somebody comes up with something at work that they want to do, a project, Maybe it's a new sales plan, something like that. And then somebody says, have you thought about the budget, how much this will cost, for example? And then everybody else says, oh, thanks for putting a spanner in the works, because you've suggested something that could bring that project to an end. Are you mocking me, Mr. Duncan?
I just love your actions. They are.
Are you mocking me?
No, you're just doing this. You're considering something.
Well,
I like that. No, it's good. It's lovely.
Yes, that's it. So maybe that's it. I decide I want to buy a Ford Mustang.
Mr. Steve is always throwing a spanner in the works.
Okay, and then
No, it says Lewis, not me. Lewis said
Okay.
that. You're right.
I thought you were on my side, Lewis.
No.
I'm very surprised that Tomek hasn't come up with an appropriate comment. But yes, that's it. So we might, for example, I might decide to buy a Ford Mustang, and you might say, "Oh, yeah, but what happens if three of us need to go out? If you need to go pick me up and your mother, and we
Yes.
all need to go out for a drive?"
How is your mother going to squeeze into the back of a Ford Mustang?
Well, that's it, you see. Mr. Duncan is throwing a spanner in the works. My idea is I want this car, but we can't because we can't get three people in the car.
Okay, that's good.
Well, we can, but they'll all be squished up in the back.
Your mother would have to go in sideways. We'd have to load her
Yes.
in like a long oboe. Throw a spanner in the works to say something or do something to ruin a plan. Throw in the towel, which is something I often feel like doing. If you throw in the towel, Mr. Steve,
Yes,
what is it? Did I make you jump?
you did.
If you throw in the towel,
If you throw in the towel, it means that you give up. You give up. You've had enough. You just give up. I'm throwing in the towel. And that, of course, does that come from boxing?
it does.
When in the boxing ring, if you've had enough, you throw the towel down, and that means that you
Yes.
are forfeiting the game.
Yes. Normally it's the person who is managing you or your coach will, from the side of the ring, he will throw it in. It's like an emergency, really.
Means
So-
you're giving up.
Yes, but it's done. Apparently, it began as in a. If you wanted the fight to end there and then, maybe the boxer who is being punched. Have you ever been punched in the ring? If the boxer is being punched and maybe he's suffering lots of damage to his face.
And the coach can see that it's going to cause maybe serious injury.
Yes, maybe his head is going to fly off.
And he can't be heard because the crowd are screaming. So he has to do something physical. So he takes the towel that's used to wipe the sweat off the brow of the boxer when they have their breaks, and he throws it in the ring. And that says match over.
I say we surrender. It's like the white flag.
Yes, that's
It's-
right.
It's very similar to the white flag, you see. Instead of a white flag, they just throw a stinky, sweaty towel.
But in life, if you're doing something and you decide, oh, I've just had enough of this, I can't do it, it's too hard, you just say, I'm just going to throw in the towel. I've had enough.
Do you think
You
that-
might have been trying to get a new job, or you might have been trying to get a promotion at work. And am I being mocked?
I'm not mocking you,
Today.
Steve. I'm not mocking you. I was just trying to say something there.
So
Now, I forgot what it was.
Maybe you are trying to make a lesson, Mr. Duncan, and you just cannot get all the different takes that you've made, all the different things that you filmed. You cannot get it to work in and to make a lesson that would be good to put out. And you just say, oh, that lesson about whatever it is, I'm just going to throw in the towel. I've had enough. Can't do it anymore.
Do you think you will ever throw in the towel?
Over what?
You've anything. Life.
Just going to throw in that. I've had enough. I'm just going to throw in the towel. But yes, that's not somebody doing it for you.
No.
You do it to yourself.
Okay, here's another one, a great phrase. Another one, Steve. Maybe a person who's done something very bad. Very bad.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's it. You could have been in a play and you've had enough and you can't do it. You can't do that part. I'm just going to throw in the... I give up. I'm not doing it. Are you throwing in the towel? Yes. Can't do it anymore.
I wish you could see the positions that Steve gets into with his legs. They sort of bend in a weird way.
Well, I'm not used to standing up all this period of time, Mr. Duncan.
Okay.
It's aching. But, we suffer. We suffer
I
for
do.
our art.
I certainly do. And so do you. Some people might say, here's another one, Steve. Maybe a person who's done something bad, they've broken the law, they've committed a heinous crime. Heinous crime.
Heinous crime. What is a heinous crime? We better explain that, Mr. Duncan.
Heinous. Not the other word. It sounds like something else. Heinous means something despicable, repulsive, something so bad that you feel physically sick.
Murder, rape, something like that. It's a really serious crime that makes people people are revolted by it. It's a really bad crime, but it's usually
Cannibalism.
things like that. Yeah, something that is abhorrent to most people. So you wouldn't describe stealing, robbing somebody's house as a heinous crime.
Yes.
That would be a crime.
What if
A
you
burglary.
what if you stole?
Heinous. If you broke into somebody's house and the owners were there and you murdered the owners and then robbed the house, that would be a heinous crime. So
It's amazing.
I'm thinking of saying other things, but I won't.
No, don't say anything else, please. Well, that was bad enough. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday, by the way. It's a lovely day.
Yes, Lewis, it did come from boxing. I think we've explained that. Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Steve is explaining things very well, says Angela. Well, all the words are there. They're just not necessarily in the right order. Throw away the key, the sentence or punishment that is given for a serious crime. So we say that the judge who decides what happens to the person, they throw away the key.
They're going to lock you up and throw away the key.
That means you are going to prison for a very long time.
And you're never coming out.
Like Prince Andrew.
Yes,
Maybe.
maybe.
Allegedly.
Maybe, yes.
Here's another one, Steve. We are now going to look at some phrasal verbs using throw. Throw out.
Throw out.
If you throw out something, you cast it away. To dispose of something, you throw out. Throw out. So, shall I throw out this? Shall I throw out all of these clothes?
Somebody mentioned earlier about clothes. They mentioned, I can't remember who it was now, that Mr. Duncan, you never throw clothes away.
No.
And they asked if I threw clothes away. No, I don't. Very, only as a last resort. I tend to keep everything, including clothes. But yes, I'm going to throw out all those old newspapers. I'm going to throw out all those old magazines. I'm going to, those two examples. I'm going to throw out all that rubbish in the spare room. I'm going to throw out Mr. Duncan from the house because he's annoyed me on the live stream.
What? This is
I'm going to throw you out.
okay.
That's another one. Throw you out. Have you got that one?
Well, these are phrasal verbs now.
Okay.
So we've gone past that stage.
Okay.
So throw out is a phrasal verb.
Got you.
So
Right,
that's a said verb that's used also as a phrase. Yes, throw out lots of things. Throw away the key can also be to keep a secret. Yes, thank you very much, Bella.
Right.
You can keep a secret. Keep a secret. You close your mouth, you lock your mouth, and you throw away the key. Some, I'm not going to say Mr. Steve should do that. No, not at all. Throw out. So to throw, dispose of, to cast away.
Yes, you're not forgiving that person.
Here's another
You
one.
sometimes say that as a joke, don't you, to people? Or if you carry on like that, I'm going to lock you up and throw away the key. You can say it as a sort of a joke to people if they've annoyed you, or in a jokey way.
Steve says it to me quite often. Here's another one, Steve, another phrasal verb. We're almost finished.
Throw in.
We're almost finished. Throw in. If you add an extra item for free. So maybe you are buying something from a person, but you can't agree on whether to have it or not. So the person selling the item might say, okay, you can have the car and I will throw in...
A full tank of petrol?
Yes. Well done. That's a good...
I will throw in free insurance.
I was going to say, yes, I was going to say free insurance or a free MOT.
Do you
But
think that would happen when I went to buy my Mustang?
No, I don't think so. So
Maybe
throw...
it's-
Can I just get on with the phrasal verb? This is why I get annoyed. It's almost time to go. We've only got 4 minutes, Steve. 4 minutes.
We're not throwing in the towel just yet.
Not yet. Not yet. So to throw in, to add an extra item for free. So maybe you are buying something, you can't quite decide. So the person will say, okay, I will throw in this extra thing.
You could be going to
for free.
as you said with the car. You could be going to buy a new suit for work, and you buy this new suit and a shirt, and you could say to the assistant, "If I buy all these, will you throw in a free tie
Yes.
for me?"
Good one.
Or they might say, "Oh, if you buy an extra shirt, I'll throw in a free tie for you." Throw in, it's a sort of, it's a giveaway to encourage you to buy something.
And finally, as mentioned earlier, throw up.
We know who mentioned that earlier.
Yes. So
We
throw
know
up.
who it was.
Throw up is a good one. Well, it's not good when it happens to you, but throw up is to vomit.
Oh, I feel ill. I think I'm going to throw up, Mr. Duncan. Oh,
I've been eating too many
Jaffa cakes.
Jaffa Cake donuts.
I've been eating too many Jaffa cake donuts. I think I'm going to throw up.
I've eaten too many of these. Oh, too many of these. I've eaten too many.
Or as Tomek said earlier, any more talk of Moulier and I will throw up.
Yes. Moulier.
But yes, you can throw up when people, if for example, you can throw up because you've eaten something that's upset you. You don't normally say, "Oh, I think I'm going to vomit." People say, "I'm going to throw up." But you can throw up. People can use that phrase if they are listening to two lovers, for example, or talking to each other. "Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, I'm going to be with you forever." And someone's listening to that conversation, or people are talking and they're just being too nice to each other all the
Yes.
time.
It
They're
makes you
being nice.
it makes you feel sick.
Somebody might say, "Oh, look at those two. I think I'm going to throw up." They're not going to actually be sick, but that watching two people, it could be lovers, it could be something like that, make them feel as though they don't like that, and they use that phrase. "Oh,
Yes.
God, listen to those two. I think I'm going to throw up."
Yeah. You're actually expressing repulsion.
Yes.
You are repulsed by their they keep kissing and cuddling. I'm going to throw up in a minute.
But it might not be.
Shh.
It could be something else as well. It could be just some behaviour by people that you find sickly, you find distasteful. You don't like it. It's too nice.
Yes. A lot of people referring, of course, to my little drama that I had 3 weeks ago when I was vomiting. I was throwing up outside. Shafiq, thank you. I can't imagine. I can imagine if Mr. Duncan was throwing up when doing his live stream. I can't imagine it. Well, it happened. It really did. Also, Lewis mentioned it as well.
Tanya Triatleta says, I know I haven't pronounced your name correctly, but hello from Brazil.
Tanya.
Tanya, yes, Tanya. And of course, we've had Pedro from Brazil on today, haven't we?
Yes.
So, yeah, lots of people telling us that they're watching us today, and we do like that. So, keep it coming, keep it coming.
So, yes, Christina says throwing up, being sick, can be used figuratively.
Yes.
So you don't actually vomit, you don't throw up, but you just use it to show how much you hate seeing that. There's nothing worse than going to the local park by yourself and then you see a young couple and they're sitting together and they're kissing and cuddling. Not because you don't want to see that, but because you feel, do it in the house. Don't do it in the street. Don't kiss and cuddle outside because there's lots of people walking around and I don't want to look at that.
But if that could be, it could also be used if it doesn't have to be lovers. It could be, say, somebody at work was buying presents for the boss all the time and was always around because they wanted promotion and they were always doing things to try and favour with the boss. Their behaviour could be seen as sickly. And, somebody might say, oh, look at him over there. He's always sucking up to the boss. I think I'm going to throw up. When you see somebody doing something which is insincere, if the behaviour is insincere but deliberately done to try and butter somebody up, to try and get favour from them in some way, then you might feel sick about it. And yes, so you can use it figuratively as well as literally. I saw a white van, says Tom. It's coming to get me. That's what it is.
I think it's coming for us. It's coming to take us to the local lunatic asylum.
A white van in the UK, just to explain, if you say the white van is coming to get you, it means an unmarked van because you have behaved probably in a mad way. You've lost the plot, haven't you? You've what's the word I'm looking for, Mr. Duncan?
You've gone insane.
You've gone a bit insane, and you're acting in a very strange way. And they call the white van out to take you away to a psychiatric institution. I should have gone years ago, obviously.
Yes.
Living with Mr. Duncan, of course, has caused it. But there you go.
It sends everyone crazy eventually. It does. So that's it. We have our final phrasal verb and final definition and use of throw. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. It's been interesting. I think it's been a good one today. Maybe the best ever. I think this was the best live stream ever.
Tanya has explained her name. Tanya Triathlete is a triathlete in Brazil.
Yes.
So that's triathlete. That's 3 different things you do, isn't it? Something like running, swimming, and something else,
yes.
Maybe. But what are the 3 things you're doing?
Bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping, yes.
You can bungee jump whilst swimming.
Is it tiddlywinks? No, we're only joking. So yes, what the triathlon? What are the 3 sports in a triathlon? Is it it must be running? Is it swimming? And then is it maybe going over those fences? What do you call it?
Climbing a tree.
There is. I don't know. I can't remember. But
whisking an egg.
You've got to be very fit to be a triathlete.
Yes, you run.
You run,
swim,
and what?
Well, if it was me, it would be have heart attack. Swim, run, heart attack. That would be my triathlon.
Bella says every episode is the best ever. Wait to see with such lovely people watching us. Look at his face.
Bit sickly.
And lots of hearts.
I
think I'm going to throw up. What a sickly comment.
I'm going to throw up.
We're joking. We're just showing that as an example.
By the way, there is a new lesson.
Here we go. Cycling, swimming and running. Cycling.
Oh, cycling, of course.
Yes.
Cycling.
Angela says in Holland it's a blue van. That's strange. So in a blue van, if you're being taken to a psychiatric hospital and anonymously, it's a blue van. Here it's a white van.
Yes.
How interesting.
Although it's not going to be anonymous if it is a white van, because if a person is being loaded into the back of a white van, I'm pretty sure we know what's happening.
Well, I mean, a white van could be delivering something from Amazon, couldn't it, these days? We get lots of white vans coming here.
Unless it's a person being thrown into the back. So, I was going to say something then. I keep wanting to say things. Yes, my lesson, that's it. The thing that we're supposed to be doing. There is a new lesson. A new lesson coming on Wednesday.
Have I thrown you off, Mr. Duncan?
I'll be throwing you off in a minute. There is a new lesson on when...
You could throw me off the live stream, couldn't you?
Yes.
Tell me to go. I could be thrown off. You could be thrown off the team because you're not good enough in football. You're thrown off the team because you're not good enough. I'm not good enough. Mr. Duncan could throw me off the live stream because I've annoyed him.
Yeah. I'm not sure which team Steve is playing for, though, these days. Wednesday, there is a new lesson, a new recorded lesson. Every Wednesday, there is a new lesson. And on Wednesday, it's a big one. I have a whole group of words to talk about and explain. On Wednesday, a new lesson. And of course, we are back next week as well from 2 p.m. UK time is when we're here with you. It's almost time to say goodbye.
That's when the fun begins.
Or ends.
Yes.
Depending on how you look at it.
Well, hopefully we haven't thrown any of you too much today. And you've enjoyed today's live stream. I certainly have, Mr. Duncan.
I hope we haven't made any of you feel like throwing up.
Yes. See, I was expecting that. I was expecting that from somebody, but nobody said that. They've been very nice. And we just had that lovely comment from Bella, which is, yes. Right.
One week, I'm going to do this 1 week. 1 week, I'm going to take a rest one Sunday, and I'm going to get Steve to present the whole live stream. And I won't be here. So 1 week, not next week, but maybe once we will try it. We did it before. Do you remember when you just talked about cars?
I was going to say that's all I would talk about would be cars.
So we've done that already. We did it in the past. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. Well, okay, the second worst thing I've ever seen.
Everyone's saying goodbye to each other, which is very nice. It was great to be here. And I hopefully will be here next week.
Hopefully.
Co-hosting with Mr. Duncan.
Yes, special guest.
And we'll have interesting subjects for you and lots of laughter fun.
I'm not sure about co-host.
And happiness. And just a nice Sunday feeling.
Special guest.
Right, I'm just talking to help Mr. Duncan prepare for fading me away.
Well, we just had a super chat come through.
Oh, how lovely!
At least one of us is looking at the live chat. A super chat has just come through from Shafiq. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. We are going in a moment. Thank you, Mr. Steve, for your company.
Felt lovely today. We were getting nice comments, lots of people making nice comments. In fact, so many comments, I was struggling to keep up with them. But it's been lovely. See you all next week. Have a lovely week and enjoy learning English.
There he was, Mr. Steve. Every week he joins us live on this English Addict live stream.
boy now.
And there it was. Mr. Steve has left the studio. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. Sadly, it is time to say goodbye. Parting is, indeed, such sweet sorrow. But don't worry, I'm back on Wednesday, recorded, of course, with one of my recorded English lessons, and then next Sunday I'm back with you live along with Mr. Steve. We will be back together again. I hope you will join us for that. Thank you for your company. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. For the past 2 hours and 10 minutes we have been here together because we are all English addicts. This is Mr. Duncan saying thanks for watching. See you again soon. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day and also your week as well. You know what's coming next. Until the next time, we are all here together sharing our love of the beautiful English language. It's time to say ta-ta for now.